Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and we are super excited for this episode. It's been kind of a long time coming, but previously we had recorded a bonus episode talking about Tokyo Revengers and Windbreaker, but mainly Tokyo Revengers. And it only covered season one and the first part of season two because as of that point, they hadn't dubbed the second part of season two. And we thought they never would. But then they did! So we watched it and we need to gab about it. So now we're making this episode.
Yep, thank you for listening to our saga of complaining about not having a dub and now there's a dub and then taking forever.
Uh,
We found out what like 2 months ago and then now we're finally
yeah,
just
well, I
watching it.
found out randomly because Chief Fused voice actor Adam MacArthur just posted "We're back" with the Tokyo Revengers poster, and I was like, "No way!" After all this waiting, after hearing nothing, this is how I find out. Is this legit? And I checked it out, and it was. So I told Meg, and we were super excited, but we didn't want to just like watch it on a weekend or like we were in the middle of a bunch of shows. So we decided that we should watch it together the next time we were in person together. And so we just like we binged it within a couple nights. So
Yep, and it was excellent. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the second half of season two, or I don't know if it's second half of season two or season three, I don't know. But if you haven't seen that, major spoilers ahead, so
yeah.
you've been warned. Um, yeah, and yeah, we were just gonna like talk about, I guess, like our favorite moments and new characters and what we think about them and all the
Yeah.
things. Um,
Yeah.
I guess we should start with there was a lot of not necessarily new duos and well, yeah, there were new duos
People
introduced
we didn't know much
and
about
yeah,
too.
and then ones we didn't know much about that we got to learn more about. So,
And
um,
as always, it
so
was one of those things where the characters are introduced, and you're like, I don't think I'm gonna like them. And then later you're like, I love them so
right,
much.
seriously, that's every single character. The only person that I didn't feel like, oh, I love him was Izana at the end. Like even after learning his backstory, I feel bad for
Yeah.
him and like
No,
definitely
no, with
saw where he's coming from, but
nah, with Izuna,
like
I think you're supposed to feel like this, ah man, what could have been. Like, yes,
mhm.
I definitely felt
Yeah.
bad for him, but I was more like I was more with Mikey in the sense that like, man, you have this opportunity to have another brother. I want you to take it kind of for Mikey's sake, kind of for Izuna's sake, but also like to kind of break the cycle of hatred that's been happening within these gangs. And oh man, kudos to Mikey because like he just went through the ringer and he's offering this kid who has been the cause of some of the most pain in his life recently. And he's just like, I can forgive you and I can accept you and I can learn to love you. And I'm like, wow, he's grown so much
Yeah.
because and I think part of him is
Yeah.
like can understand Izuna, especially with how the both of them related to Shinichiro and like being in a complicated family situation. I don't know, just Izuna's whole wanting to belong
Mhm.
problem, and also
Yeah, and I
because Mikey's friend Kazutora was responsible for Shinichiro's death, I think Mikey could also be like, yeah, I bear not the blame, but I bear some influence on that hard part of your life as well. So like just I'm sick of it. I want to stop this.
mhm. Yeah, Izuna is
He
yeah.
got
At
sort of a
first
redemption arc though.
he did like at the end cuz he saved Kaku, which
Uh,
I did really like him. I mean, I still like him. Obviously, he made it. And it was like so sweet
they were
in the
holding
end, like
hands.
them holding hands and uh yeah, he was great too. And I liked that he and Takamichi knew each other and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just I really wanted to know more about Kaku's. I'm guessing we're gonna get to learn more about him, I guess.
Yeah,
Because I
because
was like,
he
how did
lost his
he and
parents.
Takamichi know each other if he clearly like grew up?
Well,
It must have been,
no, they
it
knew
was
each other
after.
before
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
Kaku got his scar during the accident that killed his parents.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
he ended up in foster care.
Yeah.
And he knew Takamichi before, like when he didn't have his scar.
Yeah. Um, and then honestly, the two people that like came out of nowhere for me were Inupi and Coco.
Yes.
Like
I got so attached
I
to them
right,
immediately.
like at the in the first half of the second season, it was like, these guys suck. And now they're joining Toman, like this
To
is
quote
really bad.
Takamichi, I guess you're an all right guy after all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like then we see their backstory
They
and
kind of
again, it
just
was
they just ended up
totally
in Black Dragon, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, not totally. I mean,
Well,
Inupi was
Inupi
like
was in it because of
really yeah.
Shinichiro.
But then Coco was in love with the sister and then yeah.
That broke me.
Yeah, that
Like
was really sad.
seeing this kid, I understand where he's coming from now. Seeing this kid be like he had this mindset of money is everything, and I was like, okay, dude,
He was like, this
that's
weird. Like,
yeah,
what's
but
happening?
then you realize he was desperate to earn money so he could pay
Mm-hmm.
for the surgery for Inupi's sister, and he never got
And
enough money, and so
and
like the guilt is
then
tearing away at him, and
yeah.
he feels like, and he was working so hard to
Well,
earn
that
money
was
that he
like
was resorting to illegal means, and that was the only thing keeping him going. So now without Inupi's sister around, he's just like, money is the only thing I
yeah, it's like
have.
the only thing that he knows. Like it's the thing that he's clinging to. But he's like, dude, you got an awesome best friend who
Yeah,
like wants to save you. Like,
yeah.
uh,
He's like, he's my hero.
yeah.
Also, Coco is just such a cute. I just love that name. I mean, it's like, what's it short for Kokoi or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I never
but
actually remember. I just it's just Coco.
no, but we decided to
Which I did
honor.
actually noticed. I think only Inupi was calling him that. Everybody else was calling him
Ah,
by his
yes,
full name.
because he's got a nickname for his best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of sad though, because Coco saved Inupi from the fire, and then he's like, "I got you!" I think, and he thinks he's got the sister, and then Inupi's like, "No, no, no, it's me, dude. Thank you for saving me." And Coco's like, "Shoot, the wrong one."
Rough, but I'm sure Inupi like
No, no, no. I'm
understood,
sure. Well, yeah, and
you know.
I'm sure Coco never regretted saving Inupi.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a, I saw the first person, I saved them. I was under the impression that was her, and like he went back in to try to find her, but like, yeah, it's just a tough situation all around. But we
Mm-hmm.
decided to honor these boys by making them our basis for this thumbnail for this episode.
Yeah, so enjoy that.
Yeah.
Also, like, how does Takamichi keep worming his way into like positions of power? Because now
He's
he's
the
like,
Black Dragon leader now.
which honestly, like to me, kind of makes sense. Like everybody's like, oh, Shinichiro. Seriously, how many people this
They look
season
at
were
Takamichi and they
like,
see Shinichiro.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
amazing.
it just it's perfect. But I was like,
Yes.
all right, Takamichi, I see you getting all that power. And then yeah, the
Oh,
another duo, yeah,
yeah,
is the twins,
the
which
twins.
we did know about because
Well, we've met
I'd seen
Smiley
them.
before.
Yeah, we knew Smiley, but I definitely seen a guy with blue hair, and I was like, that
Mm,
looks exactly
mm-hmm.
like Smiley. Or they, yeah,
Angry. I
yep,
like Angry quite a bit.
yeah,
Both voiced by Bryce Papenbrook, so what a legend.
yep.
Vocal range right there. Also, that was the first time I've ever heard Bryce say the F-bomb in a show, so it caught me off guard.
That's actually surprising, honestly.
Yeah, no, but he usually plays characters.
Like, now
Aaron
that
could have
now
said
right
it,
now
but
I was just gonna say now that I think about it, why did Aaron? I'm surprised he never said that because they did like use strong language in that show.
they never used the F-bomb. They never used the big ones in Attack on
Yeah.
Titan. But this is Tokyo Revengers. Rules don't apply here. There was only
Mhm.
one this time though. I appreciated that. Last season it got a little bit excessive. Like I get it, it's gang wars, but
Well, no, okay. I would say first and second half were like both just as dark, but in different ways.
right.
Like,
Yeah. But yes, the twins were awesome. I really liked Angry's little moment of like call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yep, yep.
That was amazing.
It's like the classic like don't make the quiet
The
kid
cinnamon roll
the
angry.
cinnamon roll angry. Yeah. Yeah. That was so
Yeah.
good.
Oh, stemming from that, one of my favorite fight probably this season was when Angry doubled up with Hawkeye. I was so glad Hawkeye got to, come back.
Mm-hmm.
I miss his sister too, but I'm glad Hawkeye was there. But their duo fight was amazing, and Chiefy was like, "They're both the babies of their family. What are they gonna do?"
Mm-hmm.
But I think they became pretty good friends, and Landon McDonald is Hawkeye's voice actor. We're hopefully going to meet him pretty soon, but that was shocking. Like I couldn't hear Rompo or Hosina at at all in this movie.
Mm.
Hoshina, sorry, not Hosina.
Yeah, I got
Hosa-
you. I got
Hosina.
you. I heard that and I was like, I just chose not
Hoshina.
to
Hoshina.
not to
What,
correct.
you're gonna let the fans correct me? People are
Our-
merciless on the internet. Our
It's
two
fine.
fans.
They're gonna come after you for sure.
But sorry, anyway, I was just there was something about his performance as Hawkeye that I just like really he did a great job. Like I think it was the scene where that one brother in the duo on the other side was using his what was it like a judo technique to like
Hmm.
pop his leg out of socket, which ugh.
Uh,
But Hawkeye was just going, no,
yeah.
no, 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 like just like the way he was screaming.
I like the like you like feel like the real
Oh,
fear. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, just great,
Yeah.
great voice acting. So glad they got an English dub. I'm sure it's amazing in the original Japanese, obviously, but I don't know. I just wanted to hear the
Yeah.
voices we had always heard.
Yeah. I'm so surprised. I'm surprised that Hawkeye is not blind, to be honest.
Yeah, they were beating him
Like,
across the forehead. I
yeah,
thought
that
they got
was
his eyes.
yeah. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, that was a cool
Yeah.
fight.
Speaking
Honestly,
of
like
injuries,
there's
though,
there yeah, yeah, there wasn't like there was a lot of fighting, I guess, but
it was a lot of
I don't know.
backstabbing, like cowardly fighting. Like
Yeah.
it was
It
so
was different.
multiple people got hit with cinder blocks in this
Yeah,
season.
yeah. Yes.
Poor
And
Mitsuya and Smiley spent most of it in a wheelchair. I felt so bad for those guys.
mm-hmm.
Concussion number 5 for Mitsuya.
Yeah, like I think about that because I know like all those studies that have been done with like football players and like getting concussions and how it literally like makes you like
Yeah.
more aggressive and
Yeah.
it's not good. But
Although I have heard of people who have gone through some pretty traumatic injuries who come out of it okay too. So,
yeah, no, that's definitely true. But all these guys are gonna be okay.
no. Some of
Yeah.
them aren't okay right now.
And now
There's
we should talk about the biggest
oh my goodness.
thing. Ugh.
Two big things that we were well one of them we got spoiled for us, so
Yeah, okay.
it was still like
I
a
gotta
wince and like gasp scene, but we saw it coming.
yeah. Okay, I think I already I don't know if I told you the full story because I like couldn't tell you when I found out about Emma dying because it was like dude, I think it was like a year ago. Not quite a year. Maybe like
Mm.
9 months ago. And my friend I'd like just talked to her about watching Tokyo Revengers. She was the one that recommended it to me. And she hadn't finished this season. And because we had talked about it, she went back and watched it. And she like texted me one night while me and Megan were meeting, and all she said was like, Emma is dead. And seriously, we had it had been a few weeks, and so I was like, do I know an Emma? Like, what? And then I was like, oh, she would never text me something like that. It's gotta be a show. And I was like,
Tokyo Revengers.
so it totally got
I
spoiled for me.
I
But
got
it's
it spoiled in a more roundabout way. It was an Instagram reel, which is where most of the spoilers come from. But it was before we even thought of watching Tokyo Revengers. I just saw reels of Tokyo Revengers all the
dude, I
time
would
because it's so
never remember
popular.
that.
My brain works against me sometimes. But I just remember the scene where like I couldn't remember which boys it ended up being Takamichi and Mikey, but somebody was carrying a girl on his back and they were trying to make it to the hospital and it was pretty obvious that the girl didn't make it. And so when we finally did watch Tokyo Revengers, I was like, which boys were I was probably Takamichi. Was the other one Mikey? And then one of the girls, and I was like, well, it's either Hina or Yuzuha or Emma, but their hair colors are all within the same color palette, orange to
Mm.
yellow. So I was like, I don't know. So last season I was just like, not Yuzuha, please not Yuzuha, please, 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 because I heard it was somebody's sister too. So I was like, not her, not her.
Oh. Which honestly could be any of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that was so I
It
didn't
was
know how she was
brutal.
gonna die. It was way more brutal than I thought it was gonna be. Like she was straight up murdered with a bat. Like, oh, that was so
On a motorcycle going, I don't know how many miles per hour, but like
that yeah, that
it
was
was
so
it
nasty.
was so tough to watch because you and I knew that Emma was the target. But if you were watching for the first time or didn't get it spoiled, you would think Takamichi was. So it
Mhm.
made sense when he saw the motorcycle coming and he ducked instinctively.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any time for him to warn Emma. It just happened. And I totally get him blaming himself. I would blame myself too, but like but then like Draken found out and he was blaming Mikey because Mikey was there, but he couldn't do anything and they couldn't
Yeah, the
get there.
whole thing.
And
Oh man.
and Evie was trying
Ugh.
to get to the hospital before them so that he could get help, and it's just nothing. And then,
Yeah.
like, what got me the most, I was super sad during the scene, but my artist brain was working overtime, and I didn't like react like I should have because I was just admiring how they drew Mikey during that scene because he was like he just had there it's really tough to capture nuances and emotion when you're drawing, and they captured it perfectly. Like the face that you make when you're trying so hard to be brave and you're trying to keep it together, but you're kind of slipping. Like the way they drew his eyes and even his eyebrows, like perfect animation for that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was feeling everything.
You were like going,
I was
"Oh
like,
no, I'm so sad." And I'm going,
I was
"Wow,
like,
this is
I was
great."
feeling like choked up for once. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was so sad. Then, I don't know, I feel like we got like a little bit of a ray of hope when like Takamichi was like, I'm gonna save everyone. Like,
Yeah,
even
like
I
I
mean,
can
people
go
we've lost.
back even
Yeah,
further,
like there might be something to that,
maybe.
I think.
And then
Um,
and then he's also like reeling from Naoto's death in the future.
yeah, that was wild.
Naoto took a
Like,
bullet for him, but then Takamichi got shot too. And like the whole scene played out, and I was basically screaming at the TV, "Hold his hand, shake his hand, go back in
right?
time, fix it,
You were.
fix
It's like, dude, he's obviously gonna do that.
it." Yeah, but it was so
Let him
sweet.
have their moment.
It was so sweet though, because Naoto was just like, he's like, "I'm so proud of you. Thanks for doing what you're doing and you're gonna be okay." And they're both crying. Although I might have ruined the moment a little bit because Naoto started his speech with like when I first met you, it was like, why did I get paired up with a loser like that? And I turned to Meg and went, is that gonna be us on our deathbed?
Dude, it's so relatable though. You're not a loser, but
You're not either. I've never.
it's like the group project.
I've got some stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that was I liked that moment. Also, can I say like I still do not like him, but Taiju got a little bit of a
Yeah.
redemption in the
I
future.
mean, kind of. He's
Yeah.
he's just messed
He's
up in the
still
head, but
him, but like he was helping him out, which
yeah.
I'm really
He's
curious. Like if they
I
when
think he
he
really does love his siblings. It just
his
he's
mind,
he's his
honestly,
mind is just
we'll talk about it in a little bit, but he reminds me of Kiseki, honestly.
ugh.
Like just his
Yeah.
thought process. Um,
Yeah.
and then also just like when I was so happy when Takamichi came back and Hina figured out the truth and
Yeah.
then told
She
Mikey and Draken.
I didn't
Like
know that
I
they would
was
find out so
yeah,
soon. I was
I
so
didn't
glad.
either.
Because at
I
this
didn't
point,
know
of
that they would find
course,
out at all, to be
yeah, at this point,
honest.
of course, they believed her because it's like there's so many things that happened he couldn't possibly have known about,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, and they just like
the
see
way he
him fighting
talks.
so hard and
Yeah.
yeah.
And also like some things like they told him, "Oh yeah, Shinichiro used to be the leader of Black Dragons," and Takamichi's like,
Yeah, and
"Okay,"
he's like,
and like,
that
"Wait,
was hilarious.
that didn't elicit a response." Oh no, I just like my mind went blank for a second there. Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing. No way. It's like, shoot, it's so
Yeah.
hard to keep track of what I'm supposed to know and what I'm not supposed to know. Oh, that would be so
Yeah.
hard. But yeah, so now Chifuyu, Hina, Draken, and Mikey all know, and they might tell others. I mean, like Mitsuya probably slyly.
I yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the inner circle
Mm,
like
that's gonna be
figures it
so
out.
great.
Yeah, and then I'm really curious because obviously they haven't gotten to the point where Takamichi is like, okay, here's what happens in the future. But I don't know if he's gonna actually tell them because I could
They
totally see
probably
it.
shouldn't
I could
know.
totally be it see I could totally see it being a thing where they're like, yeah, we don't want to know because
Yeah.
we don't want just keep doing your thing and we'll help
Just,
you, basically.
just, he could just leave it at, I'm trying to prevent a future where the majority of you aren't alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think it'd be a good idea to tell Mikey, like, hey, oh, by the way, you killed everyone and then yourself, dude.
He'd just be
Like,
like rocking back and forth in the fetal position if he got told
yeah,
that.
that's probably, let's keep
Yeah.
him from knowing that.
Yeah. And then Mikey gives Takamichi a hug. It's like you've been fighting so hard, man.
Yep. I liked all the brotherly love, because then there's also Kaku and Izuna holding hands, and then obviously Takamichi and Naoto in the future. Like, it's just so cute.
And Mikey watching out for Hina, like even if
Yeah, okay, I
Takamichi couldn't
loved
protect
that.
Emma, but Mikey's like, I'm gonna protect Hina with my life. He's like, don't
Uh,
worry, I've got her. And then when the big thing that we'll get to happened, he's like, Hina, don't look. Like he covered her eyes.
that was so, yes.
He's a big brother to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. One more thing before we get to the big thing. Um, also, as you guys know, we love Chifuyu.
Yes.
And honestly, I loved every moment he was in, but he wasn't really like he didn't have a lot of big moments in the season.
I don't know.
But
I mean,
he
he's
he
still a
did,
big
but
part
he
of it.
also
I
like
liked when he was like Takamichi's friends. I love all Takamichi's friends too, like Akun and the others. They were trying to face off against this big guy, and you just hear, "He's mine!" And Chifu just barrels in out of nowhere and kicks him in the face.
yes, he definitely had like the best lines of the season and Megan can share them because
Okay, I'm going to change one of the words because we try to make this podcast a non-swearing one. Obviously, the guys in Tokyo Revengers swear quite a bit, but we appreciated his commentary. They walk into the big fight, and you got Izuna, Hanma, and Kisaki sitting on the top, away from the battle, and Chifu just yells up, "You just gotta sit up there like a little twit." Not twit, but you know.
Personally, loved the line as is. Like it's just
It's funny.
it's great.
And
Yeah.
then my other favorite moment was the twins are beating the tar out of some of the Tenjiku guys, and Chifu just goes, "Heh." Like his face was so I can't.
Well, they had literally just beat him up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Chifu's like,
were.
"That wasn't fair, you came up behind me," and then he sees them get beat up and he's like, "Heh."
Yep.
Oh, and the last line was when he first reunite with Kaku, he singles Takamichi out because he's like, you're the head of your group, so you must be the strongest fighter. And you see his friends in the background go, and Chifu goes, his weapon is his kindness, actually.
Yep. Like immediately defending him, but also being honest.
It's like, this is not gonna end well.
Yep. Yep. So to sum it all up, Chifuyu still the best. That's what you need to understand from this.
He comes on screen and Meg's just like, Chifu!
Yep. Yep.
And
He's
there was
so
one
great.
scene where he started crying and you were just like, oh, my baby.
Yep. Yeah, so finally to the big thing. Kisaki,
Oh
who
my goodness.
is 100% the worst.
He's
Um,
certifiably criminally insane.
yeah, he's insane. First, well, not first, but first big moment is he kills Emma,
Yep.
and then he shoots Kaku
Yep.
because he was being kind to Izuna, basically. Um,
And he shoots Izuna.
yeah, but then that was on accident, but
Yeah,
yes.
well.
And then, okay, this moment was so disappointing to me because I was like, oh, he's gonna get taken out. This is gonna be it. And then stupid Hanma, I totally forgot about him. And he comes out
He's
of
like
nowhere
he's like
and
the 1% of germs that survive the hands.
dude, yes, he totally is. Oh, yep,
Uh,
he's just the worst. So yeah, he kills Izuna and escapes on a bike and
we shot Takamichi in the
and
foot too.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, he did. That moment was interesting because like he literally like he killed Emma, but then he like couldn't kill Takamichi. Like that makes me wonder like
Takamichi is sort of his ideal, like the person
yeah,
he wants
oh
to be
yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Like he couldn't do it. Also, Hina really cares about him. So that's probably part of it too. And
Yeah.
she wasn't there at that moment. She hadn't gotten there yet to the fight. But anyway, yes, so then I love this Takamichi and Draken. Draken's like, "Come on, Takamichi," and they chase after them. And dude, first they they crash their bike, Tanma and
Yeah, and that's
Kiseki.
why Kiseki can't outrun Takamichi. Like Takamichi, kudos to the animators and voice actors and the well
Mm-hmm.
people who made the score too, but he's like limp running after Kiseki because like he's hurting pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly am so like Takamichi's not my favorite, but I'm continually like impressed by him because he got
Yeah,
shot in the foot,
I think
and
this season cemented it for me, but like no one else could have kept getting back up. Like
mm-hmm.
he's not the best
Yep.
fighter, but man, is it hard to take him down.
Yeah, he just gets up again and again and again, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
And he
mm,
had a good moment with Kiseki because the guns between them and
mm-hmm,
Takamichi's actually able to wrestle it away from Kiseki. This is the season where he's like, I'm gonna kill him. He's
mm-hmm,
caused so much trouble. I'm gonna kill him. And he gets the gun and he's like hesitating. And then Hina shows up and Mikey shows up and they're like, don't do it. Like this isn't you.
mm-hmm.
And
I think
Takamichi's
I
like,
think
I
he
am the bigger
needed
man
he
here.
needed that push from them
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Like,
he's a bigger man because he's not gonna use the gun. He's not gonna resort to what the bad guys are resorting to. Um
mm-hmm.
And then the big chase begins,
Ugh,
and I
wait. We're not there yet. We're
got
not there
okay,
yet. I'm not ready.
okay. We
I'm not ready
weren't
really at the
ready.
moment. We really weren't ready. No, I was just gonna say like Takamichi is like such a good main character because like he's a good example of somebody who's like not had the best life and not made the best choices, but he's still like a good person and fighting
He,
for what's right and like he's
yes,
showing like you can even when you're at your lowest you can still fight and
he really stays true
like
to his morals and ideals.
mm-hmm yeah. Oh, okay, I think there was one other thing. Oh, okay, one other interesting thing we need to note is like he kept like I don't know if he was when he was touching Kiseki he like kept seeing the future
Yeah,
like
yeah, and then
it,
Kiseki revealed that he doesn't have powers because Takamichi's like, I know, like you
yeah
could
I
probably
think
go to the future and the past too.
well I don't we'll have to talk about
Well,
it.
Kiseki seems
'Cause
surprised. He's like, you can go to the future and the
yes,
past. That
okay, he
makes
did seem
sense.
surprised by that. And also we totally missed the part saying where Kiseki is in love with Hina, and
Yeah.
that's his whole
It
reasoning
seemed it seemed like a
for
lame reason at first, but then I reasoned and
I
it's like Kisaki's a guy who's really smart and plans, but his downfall
mm-hmm,
is he always expects his plans to work. And
mm-hmm,
that's why he's the way he is. And I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense in like aspects of love, aspects of daily life, how you think your life
mm-hmm.
is going to play out. Now it makes sense." And also like dude, why do you think Hina rejected you? You gave her a ring with like this evil Joker grin on your face. Of course she
Yeah.
said no.
And also I think she like had no idea who he really was at that point. Like he didn't actually like he
Well,
just was like, "Oh, I'm in love with her in elementary school." And then like,
they know each other,
they
but
do
not,
know
it's
each
not like they
other, but
went
like
out or anything.
yeah, yeah, like I'm sure, I mean, we haven't really seen exactly what happened up to that moment, but it seemed like okay, he just showed up and proposed. But I was gonna say like okay, yes, that seems like a dumb reason, but also to me, it's like the only reason that makes sense why Hina kept dying.
Yeah.
And we did. I remember us saying it the first time, like when we found out that they knew each other. Like
Kiseki is in
we
love.
totally were like, "Oh, is Kiseki in love with Hina? And is that why?" Like I remember us talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, like it does seem like a dumb reason, but also like it's not. Like I do like and I do think there are genuinely people like that who like I mean honestly they're like stalkers. Like
Yeah.
they like get obsessed with someone
If
and
I
like are
can't have you,
convinced
no one
yeah,
can.
they're gonna like convinced that they're gonna be with them. But anyway, yes, the moment like first I will say we both well I don't know, at least I was like I only see this ending in Kisaki's death, but like Takamichi's not gonna be the one to do it.
Oh, I didn't think he was gonna die
And
this early in the show, you know.
but I know we're getting close to the end of the show.
True.
So I
Okay,
knew
okay.
something was gonna happen.
Here's
So
how it went
anyway,
down. Here's
yes,
how it went down,
yes.
and this is why we should have recorded our reactions. So, this scene is happening where Takamichi is still pursuing Kisaki. Kisaki stops in the middle of a crosswalk and tells, in like they're talking, and this conversation goes on for a while. But since he's in the middle of a crosswalk, Meg turns to me and she's like, "Do you think a car's gonna hit him?" And I'm laughing, and I turn to her to make a neum sound as like a joke. But before the noise is even out of my mouth, a truck comes and hits Kizuki, and like it's not. And we both jumped and like gasped and went, oh my goodness, what just happened? Oh my gosh, he's dead. And we were both like freaking out. But why it caught us off guard is that usually in anime there's some kind of reaction before something like that happens. A noise you hear, or somebody's eyes
Mm-hmm.
widening, or somebody glancing. No, this just barreled through and hit him and like took him with it. Like he
Yeah,
goes
that
off
was
screen.
definitely like the nastiest
Oh, and then they
truck-kun moment I've
showed
seen.
he was gonna Kisaki was gonna be isekai'd, but
Yeah.
they showed
Dude,
him on the
that could totally be
ground.
something that happens.
Ugh. Well,
But anyway,
Takamichi technically got isekai'd when he was
yeah.
hit by the train in the first season. But anyway, like first of all, the truck driver, like it was an accident, and I Takamichi was just
Mm-hmm.
standing there, and like no one was calling the police, but they were all in shock. And
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean
assume the cops came later, and Takamichi's face was just like, I can't believe that just happened. And he's not feeling any happiness from that situation. It's horrible. And Kisaki's on the ground, he's mangled. It's one of the more brutal
mm-hmm.
anime scenes I've watched. And that's when Mikey and Hina showed up. Mikey's like shielding Hina, and it's over, and Kisaki's just like, what just happened? But he's gone pretty quick. Um and they explain that within this battle in Tomon's history, the Kisaki, Emma, and Izuna were the casualties, and Kaku survived, and then Draken and Hanma were still having their little fight somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else. So we haven't seen what Hanma's reaction is to Kisaki's
Yeah.
death yet.
Yep. And that's, I mean, they really don't give us too much to like go on as far as what's gonna happen the next season. The only thing that we see is like Takamichi's like something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And like the things that I was wondering about, I guess I had three things. One, as we already mentioned, Takamichi's gonna try to save everyone. I could even see him like not trying to save Kiski's life, but like more trying to
Redeem him?
change. Yeah, exactly. I could see him trying to do that. And then the other two things was what if, that's how Takamichi's thing started was he got hit by a train. Kisuke just got hit by a truck. Something could be there where he's now he can travel back in time.
Now, yeah, and it's gonna
Yeah.
overlap.
Yep.
Ooh.
And then the other thing was maybe I feel like it's gonna be Hanma. Like he's gonna be
and be the big bad.
Yeah, he is gonna go feral because his buddy's dead. I don't know. I could see him being like a time traveler, but I don't
That's
know.
terrifying.
Right? It would be so scary. He's like pure evil. But yeah, those were my thoughts about the next season. If
I'm
you had
just here for
any.
the ride. I want to see everybody get saved. It would be great.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see how everyone interacts with Takemichi now that more people know
Yeah.
about him.
That is yeah, and I want him to go back to the
See if Nato's
yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Whew.
That is all we've got. Oh, that was a
That was a
that was
fun
a
one.
that
Yeah.
was a lot. So thanks for listening if you're still here. Yeah, we haven't had a bonus episode in a while, so I'm glad we could do this. All right. We will be back next time.
See ya.
Bye.